Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session, transport in living beings. So it's very interesting lesson. So you know that all living bodies or all living organisms need nutrients and oxygen in every cell for its various tissues to survive or to sustain the life. The transport of different materials and gases is essential in all living organisms, both in plants and animals. Okay, the transport of different materials is essential in plants and animals. Even in the unicellular organisms also, means all living organisms there is a need of transport. Okay, in lower organisms there is no special system. So here in the beginning let us discuss about the transport in the plants. Okay, are you ready children? Let us proceed. So all living beings need nutrients and oxygen in every cell of its various tissues to sustain the life. The transport of different materials and gases is essential for both plants and animals. Even unicellular organisms such as amoeba, paramecium, they do not require the transport of any materials because they are only single cell. These are in direct contact with their surroundings. In unicellular organisms like bacteria and the protozoans, they are in a direct contact with their surroundings or environments from where they obtain their nutrients. So these substances are distributed in the cytoplasm due to the streaming movements of cytoplasm. We call it as cyclosis. The streaming movement of cytoplasm is called cyclosis. For example, you could take a slipper animalcule. What is a slipper animalcule? A paramecium. In this paramecium, the substances are circulated within the body in the cytoplasm. So this is called the cyclosis. Okay, so like this the movement takes place in a path. Okay, so this is called cyclosis. They exchange the gases from the external environment directly by a process called diffusion. Okay, so they exchange the gases from the external environment directly by diffusion. So due to the difference from the external environment directly by diffusion, there is a difference in the concentration in the outside body and inside body. That difference helps in the process of diffusion. What is diffusion? Diffusion is a physical process in which the movement of molecules or ions takes place from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration without utilizing any energy. This is a physical process. Okay, in higher organisms, both plants and animals, the digested food materials, oxygen, hormones, nitrogenous wastes, these are all to be carried from one place to the other, so that the transportation of materials is very essential. It is done through a special system in the higher organisms called circulatory system or transport system. Just like in our day-to-day life, the physical transport, how much needy. So you know very well, without transport life become miserable. In the same manner, internal transport, okay, in the body of living organisms also there is a system called a transport system. So it acts like a bridge between the different systems. For example, the digested food materials has to be transported to each and every cell of the body. Then during metabolic activity, so many waste materials are produced. They must be transported to the excretory organs for the process of excretion. The hormones, they produce it at somewhere and they show their action at somewhere. So the hormones are transported to the target tissues. Okay, so transport system plays a very important role in the living organisms. So let us study the transportation in higher plants. In higher organisms, both plants and animals, these digested food, oxygen, hormones, waste, nitrogenous are to be carried from one place to the other. So transportation of the material is essential. It is done through circulatory system. So in higher plants, they have specialized system for the transportation of materials inside the body. The transportation of materials is carried out by means of a special tissue of the plants. So this tissue is called the vascular tissue, which acts like pipes or vessels, just like blood vessels present in the animals. So there are some tubes are present in the plants also, which helps in the process of transport. So if you take the structure of root, so there are different regions are present in the root. Root tip is covered by means of a protective cap called root cap. Just beneath the root cap, the region of cell division, then the region of cell elongation, then the region of cell maturation. From the region of cell maturation, several fine hair-like structures are produced from the root epidermis. They are called root hairs. These root hairs help in the absorption of water and minerals. Okay, in plants the medium of transportation in the plants is water. Okay, anything which is dissolved in the soil water is absorbed by the plants through root hairs. Let us study the structure of root in detail. Through these vessels or pipes, water, mineral salts, food are transported in the plant body. And in plants the medium of transportation is water. Water and food flows through the special tissue, vascular tissue. The two main vascular tissues are present. They are xylem and phloem. So if you take the xylem, it is a complex tissue made up of different types of cells performing the same function. The cells which are present in the xylem, they are xylem tracheids, xylem vessels. These are the main cells which helps in the transport. The tracheids and vessels are the constituents of xylem, and the phloem, the cells of phloem are sieve tubes and companion cells. Okay, so water, food flows through the xylem and phloem for various metabolic activities. Water is transported by xylem and food is transported by the phloem. Okay, children. So all the parts of the plant, they possess this vascular tissue internally, which includes xylem and phloem. The tracheids and vessels are non-living parts of the xylem, while the sieve tubes and companion cells form the living parts of phloem. Okay, tracheids and vessels are the non-living parts, means there is no protoplasm or parenchyma is absent, whereas sieve tubes and companion cells, they are living, they possess the protoplasm. So these two tissues are the responsible for the transportation. So they are called conductive tissues or transport tissues in the plants. Okay, so in the middle of the parts of the plant, several tubes are present. Those tubes are nothing but tracheids and vessels, and the sieve tubes and companion cells. Okay, tracheids and vessels represents the xylem tissue. Sieve tubes and companion cells represent the phloem tissue. Next, the terrestrial or landed plants, land plants absorb water and mineral salts through their roots. The area of young roots where most of the absorption takes place is the root hair region or root hair zone. The root hairs are the extensions of epidermal cells. So these root hairs are very delicate and do not live more than 2 days. Okay, they are very delicate. The root hairs have sticky walls by which they adhere tightly to soil particles, means they attach to the soil particles because the root hairs are very sticky, minute, delicate structures. They are in very close association with the soil particles. The root hairs absorb water from soil by the process of osmosis, but take in mineral salts by diffusion. Okay, so here this is the region, root hair region or root hair zone. So these root hairs are very delicate. Their lifespan is also only 2 days. They are very sticky. The walls of the root hairs are very sticky. They are epidermal outgrowths. They are in very close contact with the soil particles. So where are these root hairs present? They are present inside the soil. Root system is present inside the soil, which is not visible. Okay, when you take out the root and observe carefully, you will find these minute delicate hair-like structures which arise from the main root. Okay, so during the germination of seed, the embryo of the seed which develops into root system, it is called the radicle. So this radicle grow in size. So this part of the seed will be inside the soil, and from this part another structure called plumule, from which shoot system develops. Okay, so this root system, as the plant grows, it goes or it anchors or it fixes the plant in the soil. Okay, from the outer epidermal, from the region of maturation of the root, these root hairs are produced. So how the water is absorbed means the water is absorbed from the soil by the process of osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis means when two different concentrated solutions are separated by means of a semi-permeable membrane or a cell membrane, the movement of particles or molecules or ions takes place from the region of low concentration to high concentration until the concentration becomes equal on both sides. It is called osmosis. So here the soil water, the two different concentrated solutions are there. One is soil water, and the second one is the cytoplasm of the root hair cells. Okay, the salt concentration present in this root hair cells is more compared to the salt concentration present in the soil water, because more water we will pour to the plant. So there is a dilute, it is dilute. When these two are separated by a plasma membrane, semi-permeable membrane, okay, root hairs are covered by means of a membrane. So this membrane acts as a semi-permeable membrane or selectively permeable membrane. The movement of water molecules takes place, okay, from soil water to the cytoplasm of the root hair cells. This is called osmosis. This is called osmosis. The movement of, you can define like this also. The movement of water molecules takes place from soil to the root hair cells through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, the water enters into the plant through root hairs by a process called osmosis. But the mineral salts are present in the soil water. Those mineral salts are absorbed by diffusion. Diffusion and osmosis, these two are the physical process, because no energy is utilized. But diffusion is different from osmosis. In the diffusion there is no involvement of this membrane. Okay, diffusion means the process of movement of molecules, ions or salts or substances which takes place from high concentration to low concentration without supply of energy is called diffusion. So water enters into the root system through osmosis, and these mineral salts enters into the root system through root hairs by diffusion. Okay, two definitions we come across. What are they? Osmosis and diffusion. These two are involved in the absorption of water and minerals by the root. Let us proceed. Ascent of sap or translocation. Okay, it is very important. The water and mineral salts are transported from the roots to the leaves, flowers and other parts of the plant. So this upward movement of cell sap. What is cell sap? A cell sap is nothing but water and minerals which are absorbed from the soil. Okay, water and minerals through the xylem is called ascent of sap. What is the tissue which helps in the absorption of water and mineral salts? Xylem tissue. In the beginning itself we come across there are two important conductive tissues or transport tissues in the plant. What are they? Xylem and phloem. So it is the xylem which helps in the ascent of sap. What is the meaning? Ascent. Ascent means ascending order, smaller to bigger, means from the roots to higher parts of the plant, upper parts of the plant. The movement of sap, that sap contain water and minerals. So this is called ascent of sap. Which tissue is involved in ascent of sap? Xylem tissue. What the xylem is composed of? Xylem is composed of xylem tracheids and xylem vessels. Okay. So let us study about now the translocation. What is translocation? Translocation is the movement of materials from leaves to other tissues throughout the plant. Translocation is the movement of materials from leaves to other tissues throughout the plant. Plants produce carbohydrates, that is sugars, in their leaves by photosynthesis in the nutrition we have discussed. But non-photosynthetic parts of the plant also require carbohydrates, isn't it? Roots are there. In the roots no photosynthesis, but it requires the carbohydrates and other organic and inorganic or non-organic materials. Okay. So for that purpose this translocation is important. Translocation helps in other words we can say the translocation is the movement of water and other nutrients from soil to all parts of the plant. From soil to all parts of the plant. Okay. So here ascent of sap is given in the picture. Please observe. So children, whatever the terms and the definitions which we are learning in this particular video, very important, which will help you to understand the higher concepts. So definition and the concept you need to understand here itself in order to understand the further concepts of the lesson. So that's why I am repeating. Please follow. Ascent of sap. So this ascent of sap involves the xylem tissue. So first the root hairs, water enters or pushes by which process? Osmosis. Okay, the water, soil water enters into the root hairs by which process? Osmosis. Then the capillary action result in the rise of the upper water at the base of the stem. So this occurs due to transpiration. Means further in the next slide we are going to discuss. The root pressure pushes the water to the stem. First the water enters through osmosis, then the water is pushed to upwards by root pressure. So there are some forces developed, that is called adhesive force and cohesive force, which helps in the attachment of water molecules to the xylem vessels and which leads to the formation of continuous water column. Okay. And another important force called transpiration pull. The transpiration, what is transpiration means? The evaporation of excess of water from the stomata of leaves is called transpiration. So this transpiration produces a pressure, a force called transpiration force or transpiration pull. So this transpiration pull, root pressure, helps to maintain the continuous water column from roots to the leaves of the plant. Okay, this is called ascent of sap. Further, how the transport takes place? The direction of transport. In what direction the movement of molecules or the ions or water molecules takes place. In other words, the translocation is the movement of water and other nutrients from soil to all parts of the plant. The direction of transport is an very important aspect in the plants. In case of rooted plants, the transport in xylem of both minerals and water is unidirectional from roots to the stem. Only in one direction, as in the previous image we have seen, from roots to the stem. up to leaves only in one direction, upward direction. Okay. In this, the mineral and the organic nutrients undergo multi-directional transport. You see here, xylem only in one direction, the movement of water and minerals taking place from roots to the upper parts of the plant, ascent of sap. In the second one, absorption by leaves, and the absorption by the root is only from bottom to upper. It is against the gravitational force. Whereas from leaves to the lower parts of the plant, the phloem tissue, which transport the nutrients, the food materials, organic carbohydrates, starch, like that. Okay. It is in multi-directional. Multi-directional means towards upward side, downward, and sideward. Okay. So in the minerals and organic nutrients undergo multi-directional transport, which involves the phloem tissue, whereas water, xylem tissue, in only one direction. So the multi-direction, it includes the organic compounds that are formed during photosynthesis, are exported to all parts of the plant along with the storage organs. What are the storage organs in the plant? In some plants, in the roots, example carrot, beetroot, turnip, radish. Whereas in some plants, the important storage parts are the fruits, or in some plants, tubers, potato, colocasia. Okay. So the organic compounds that are formed during photosynthesis are exported to all parts of the plants along with the storage organs by which tissue? By means of a phloem tissue. Okay. Next, that is called translocation of organic solutes. The means of transport in plants, the plant growth regulators, that is hormones, and the chemical stimuli are also transported in unidirectional or polarized manner. Polar, okay, which dissolve in water in very small amounts, in minute amounts, from where they are formed to other parts. Okay. Plant growth regulators are plant hormones, the chemical stimuli, they are also transported in unidirectional or polarized manner in very small amounts from where they are formed to other parts, target parts. There are three means of transport. What are they? Diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. What are the three main means of transport in the plants? Diffusion, facilitated diffusion, active transport. First, diffusion. Already diffusion definition we come across. It is an important process in the life of a plant. The movement by this process is passive. What is the meaning of passive? Here there is no utilization of energy. Active means there is utilization of energy. So here the movement by this process is passive and may be from cell to cell or from one part of the plant to the other part or other cell. Okay, this is the diffusion. Diffusion process does not result in the expenditure of energy or utilization of energy, and the movement of molecules takes place in a random fashion. Okay, there is no particular direction, random fashion. Okay, children, hope you understood. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.